So what is a binomial? So you are familiar with the many binomials. You have learned many binomials of plants as well as animals or even microbes. So in short, this is the definition for the binomial system of nomenclature. It is a combination of two words in Latin, a generic name and a specific epithet. Epithet means it's a word with particular attributes, and it together forms the binomial name or a binary name to refer a species. So we must be very specific in that. It is not a genus name and a species name. It is the combination of a genus name and a specific epithet which together only refer a species. Say for example, we have known many names like Oryza sativa. So Oryza is the genus name or the generic name, and the sativa is the specific epithet which together refers the Asian rice. So it forms the species name. And we must be very particular about that, or we must learn that the specific word or epithet sativa does not refer the Asian rice. Or the sativa, the meaning of sativa is the cultivated one. There are many other plant names also which is having sativa as the specific epithet. For example, the avena, oats, it is also having the avena sativa. Then garlic, allium sativa. So sativa means it's a cultivated one. So that's the point. So it is in combination with the Oryza only, it makes the it refers the Asian rice. Okay, another question is that, so we all know that we are still using that system, binomial system. Then who started the binomial nomenclature for the plants and animals? Answer may be, but this is the correct answer for that. Actually, your answer, or you may be thinking about Linnaeus. Yes, Linnaeus has done a major contribution and in framing the binomial system, and we are still following the system of Linnaeus. That's why he has been rightly called as the father of taxonomy. But we can trace back to the history of botany, and we could see that Gaspard Bohin, a Swiss botanist, has started using the binomial system. But he is not considered as the father of taxonomy. Why? Because during that time, that means in 1596, he published a book. In that book, he has used more than 6,000 species, or binomial for the 6,000 species. But why he is not considered as the father of taxonomy, just like Linnaeus? So during that time, it was not consistently used. But at times they may be using polynomial system, and at times they may be using the binomial system, and there were no consistency in using the nomenclature. He is a great scientist, and in honor of him, that's the genus Bohinia is named in honor of him. Now we can think about the contribution of Carl Linnaeus. He made it popular by the consistent use in his book Species Plantarum, 1753. So that year is considered, or that book and also that year is considered as the starting point of the modern plant nomenclature or modern binomial system. So he is a great scientist. He standardized the nomenclature for more than 8,000 plants, 6,000 animals, and many minerals also he has named. And he is such a great person, and he himself considered that the God has created all the things on this earth, and he deputed Linnaeus to arrange them properly and name them properly. So that was his magnanimity or greatness. And the system of binomial system of nomenclature was introduced in his book Systema Naturae 1735 and followed in his later books called as Species Plantarum. And this Species Plantarum is considered as the most prominent one and it is considered as a starting point. It was published on the 1st May 1753. It has also contributed on the classification scheme, and during that time the classification of the plants and animals were not developed much, and during that period artificial system of classification was used. Artificial system means classification based on one or two characters, and Linnaeus has adopted a classification scheme called as the sexual system, that means based on the number of stamens and gynoecium, and he grouped the plants into 24 classes in that book Systema Naturae. So we have adopted, or we are still following the nomenclature system of Linnaeus, but we are not using the artificial system of classification initiated by Linnaeus. This is a brief on the sexual system of classification. So it is based on the number of stamens. Stamen 1, so is grouped as the monandria, and depending upon the number like diandria, triandria, and it goes like that. And those flowerless plants are grouped as the cryptogamia. And this is the schematic representation of the Linnaeus classification scheme based on the stamens. But we know that it is not possible, or it is not logical to classify the entire plant kingdom or the flowering plants based on the number of stamens only. So it will be varying. Now coming to the genus names or the generic names of plants. Generic names are usually singular nouns written with capital initial letters. So that we must be very specific in that, writing the genus name as the capital initial letters. And these are some of the common generic names known to you. Most of them are edible: Oryza rice, Triticum wheat, Mangifera mango. Then Sida is a common medicinal plant. Then Cocos or coconut. Then Erica, nut, like that. So you will be knowing about many generic names or the genus name of the plants. And genus name may be sometimes given in honor of certain scientists.